Hi, I'm Dr. M. Kamakshaya. I'm open source software evangelist and also enterprise solution architect. In this video, I'm going to talk about Hadoop MapReduce Streaming using Python programming. So what I'm going to do is I would like to process some certain data set in which I have two columns. One is the first column represents the gender particulars of some certain sample individuals, and the second column represents the age particulars of the same sample individuals. So the prerequisites for this video demonstration are Python fundamental knowledge, Python basics, Hadoop basics, and also a bit of knowledge on MapReduce. So I'm using, by the way, I'm using Hadoop installed. So Hadoop installed inside CentOS 7. So I will show you. So Hadoop version. I think I have 2.10.1. That is my version. And Python, I think I have 2.7, I guess. Yeah, 2.7.5. And then Java, anyway, I'm not using because I would like to demonstrate Hadoop MapReduce using streaming API. So if you don't know what is Hadoop streaming, then you have to go to a particular website which speaks about Hadoop streaming methodology. So if you are watching this video, I don't need to, I assume that you already know what is Hadoop and what is Python, Java, etc. etc. So streaming is for those people who don't know anything about Java. See, people like me, we are not conventional computer programmers. We are unconventional because we have studied computer science after a couple of degrees. So if you want to know what is Hadoop streaming, there is a wonderful, sorry, I'm not connected to, this is the problem in CentOS 7. Doesn't matter, it's a small. Hadoop stream. What is happening? Okay, so great. Now the second link is the link which I am talking about. This is what. So there is a beautiful documentation related to Hadoop streaming. So Hadoop supports quite a few languages, just like C, C++, Java, Perl, Ruby, or Python, many more. So those people who are not conventional Java programmers, they can make use of this Hadoop streaming, Java, which is not available for the plain vanilla Apache Hadoop. We have to download that from Maven. I'm going to show you how to do that. Don't worry. So in this video demonstration, I'm going to explain how to write Python scripts. For MapReduce framework, using MapReduce framework, and in order to process data sets. Okay, so I have a data set in my computer. Where am I? I'm in home, right? ls la. I have something called Python programming. Okay, ls. So I have, must be, yeah, this one. This is the directory which I'm speaking. I'm going to Python ls, excuse me. So I have something called data.txt here. So I would like to process this data. By the way, what is this data? This is, so it has to, this is actually a CSV file, which means comma separated value file. The very first column, each row entails gender as well as age particulars of a given individual. So how many rows are there in this file? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So this file represents gender and age particulars of 8 individuals. Okay, this is just fake data, not big data. Anyway, this is just a simulated environment. This is not a full-fledged Hadoop cluster. I installed Hadoop in a single node pseudo distribution mode. It doesn't matter. So we don't need to. So in real time, it won't be like that. I'm just using virtualization technology. for this video demonstration, and my virtualization technology is being supported by VirtualBox, Oracle VirtualBox, okay, which is free. So I already told you Hadoop version. I have 2.10.1 and Python. I have 2.7 and then Java. I got 8th Java 8 version. Okay. Now, so I have shown you my data file. So I have two columns. The first column represents the gender particulars of 8 different individuals, and second column represents age particulars of 8 different individuals. So this is what I want to analyze and what I would like to do. That is the main important question. I would like to make a summary table of the average age particulars of each gender level, which means what is the average age of male individuals in this file and what is the average age of the female individuals in this file. So that is what the objective of this demonstration. For that, what we need to do is we need to so we are doing this analysis using inside Hadoop, assuming that we have some distributed environment deployed in my computer inside a virtual machine. I have a Linux operating system and also Hadoop installed. So then what? So in Hadoop MapReduce, it is a framework where we need to have two different scripts. One is mapper, the other one is reducer. The whole programming methodology goes like this. So we'll be having an input data such as this, and this input data is handed over to the mapper file or mapper script. In this context, I'm using Python. Usually it will be Java. And then so mapper will process this input data and then create some output, which is output from the map step from the mapper script, and that will be the input for the reducer script. And this reducer aggregates the results in a required format, and then finally the output will be ejected from this entire process, and that output we capture and store it in HDFS. This is what is the design for the strategy behind this demonstration. Okay, so already you know what is my data. Now I'm going to show you my mapper file. So what is this mapper? So better I will just take you to the, so instead of nano, it's better if I demonstrate that with Python. So I have these files in a directory called Python programming. So this is my mapper file. So what is this? So this file, the strategy, the logic inside this mapper.py is, which is a Python script. So this is actually the very first line is a line which is required to make this script executable in Linux. So if you don't have this line, the beginning line in the script, then this file will not be recognized as Python executable. So this is one of the important conventions in Linux. So don't forget to use this. Your MapReduce will not work. And the second line, I am trying to import a particular library called sys, which is a Python module. So why? Because I just wanted to use this sys module, a method called stdin, standard input, which is an input coming from console to this script. Okay, this is a script to which we are giving some input data. So that input data is coming through. So Python will handle that input data with the help of this module sys. So there is a method called stdin, standard input. Standard input means the input which is coming from the console. And then there is also data coming, which we call, and that data file has certain rows, and each row is a line. And now in that row we got two ingredients. The first data cell, data point is gender of the individual, and the second data point is age. So what we are doing here is I am keeping my logic inside the loop, for loop. This is a Python for loop. So the strip method of this is actually a string method. So the strip, what happens is that it cut the trailing space, white space in any given input line. So if there is any white space by chance in any incoming data, which is preferably a string, then this strip method will curtail that white space and then give clean raw data to this left side LHS object, which is line. And then we are going to split that each line into wherever there is comma, there we split the line and divide that into words. These words are saved in a particular variable called values. And then in try except block, these values has gender as well as age. So those gender and age I am capturing by using a particular mechanism called indexing. So Python follows zero indexing, and the very first word is represented by 0, which is gender, and the second value is represented by 1, so which is age. Now I am just printing this to the console. So print, this is the way we output the data in Python. So the percentage string. So I just wanted to output these two values as strings. That is all the job done by the Python mapper script. Okay. Now I'm going to take you to the reducer, and this reducer is something like will handle the output being created by the mapper script, which is a Python script. So as usual, the first line is the Python tag that speaks to the operating system that this script should be treated as a Python executable. Now obviously the first line is sys, which helps me to deal with the incoming data, and the incoming data to the reducer is from the mapper output, the output which is created by the mapper. Now I have 4 different variables here. I'll speak about these variables in due course. So the incoming line has a gender and a age. So 2 values, gender and age. Now, excuse me. Again, I'm stripping that incoming data line, and this is called data packing or enveloping. I don't know. So this is a particular special the advantage in Python. The LHS, you can capture things in different variables. So I'm splitting line because in the mapper script is going to eject the output consisting of tab between the 2 values, the gender tab and then something like that. So I'm splitting that incoming line wherever there is a tab in that line, and then this is just a simple Python statement that splits the line and saves the results in 2 different variables, gender and age. Now if the gender is male, then the make it total, the age should be totaled, and that is stored in male total. And I'm using a counter in order to compute an arithmetic average. I'll tell you how. So now you should be able to understand that why I'm using these variables. So I'm using one variable male total, which is used in this try except block. So my male total is going to sum up all the age particulars of male, and the female total variable is used in order to sum up the age particulars of the female individuals. And these counters are mere variables in order to count the number of instances of male individuals and as well as female individuals, something like that. Now finally we are printing a dictionary. So the output will be a dictionary, which is so dynamic data structure in Python. So what is the arithmetic average for male individuals and what is the arithmetic average for the female individuals? So these are my MapReduce scripts, and how am I going to the next step is going to be the testing, right? So I have to convert these 2 scripts into, I have to give some execution privileges to the existing, who is this man? He is Hadoop, right? So username is Hadoop, and Hadoop did not have the black color. The color of the files are in black, which means that this user has it should be in green. So how are we going to do that? We can do that using sudo change mod 777 MapReduce. Now Hadoop less. Now you see mapper and reducer, both of them are green color, which means the user Hadoop has sufficient execution rights or privileges over this scripts. Now how are we going to do? So cat data, so that is going to print the ingredients inside the data. Now cat data text pipe to Python mapper. Now let's see what's going to happen. So this is how the mapper script will print the outputs, and this output will be an input for the reducer, as I have said. Now reducer, if I use Python reducer, now that is going to give us a dictionary, male 28, female 43. Okay, so I'm doing all these things within a local file system, but I should be able to do that in HDFS because we are interested to analyze data which is in Hadoop distributed file system, the storage, Hadoop storage. So how are we going to do that? So is it my Hadoop cluster on? No. So start all .sh will start the cluster. Okay. Now we have to wait for a couple of seconds. Hadoop is starting. Now this computer is converted into Hadoop cluster. This is pseudo distribution mode, don't worry. So it's not a full-fledged cluster. So how do we know that the cluster is started? So once the console comes back, then we have to use JPS. Yeah, my node, name node, data node. By the way, I assume that if you are watching this video, I'm sure you should be knowing what is Hadoop, how to start the cluster, and what is name node, data node. I don't need to explain all these things because only after crossing all these milestones will come to the MapReduce. So I'm in the second stage where data analysis arise inside Hadoop cluster. Now Hadoop, I want to do fs ls root. So in the root directory, what is there? Yeah, I don't want that output. I am going to Hadoop fs or m-r output. So my scripts are okay. I already have shown you how to test the scripts in LFS, local file system. Now I'm going to test this. I'm going to use these scripts to analyze the data. Now I already have that. My data file is there in input. Let me check. Hadoop fs ls input. So I have this data file, already kept it inside Hadoop distributed file system. So how do you know? Fs cat input data.txt. So this is my data file. So the same data file. If you are not trusting me, see, both of the files are same. So cat data.txt, that is the file in local file system, and Hadoop fs cat input data.txt, that is the file in HDFC. Okay. Now what is the statement required to process this? So I already have my streaming jar here. By the way, where do you get this? It is from browser. You will not be having, if you install Hadoop, plain vanilla Hadoop in single node pseudo distribution mode, you will not be having streaming jar. You will be having rest of the jars, but not streaming. So our Hadoop streaming jar for my version is 2.10.1, right? So you can go to the second one, I guess. No. Yeah, first one. So in first one, this is what I'm talking about. So this is what you need to download and keep it in a required directory. So right now it is in my current directory. Why do I have two different? I don't need this. Okay, so I have in the same directory. Now I can straight away use this without suffering for the paths. Hadoop jar, that is actually the MapReduce statement, and then Hadoop streaming jar, then what? Mapper is my mapper. Where is the mapper? We had a full path of the mapper. Home. In my computer, it is Hadoop Python programming mapper, and then reducer is home Hadoop Python programming. That is the path where I have my reducer file, and then import. Where is the import? This is HDFS, the input file inside the HDFS. Input I think data.txt, I guess. Now output will be output. So I already deleted one of the existing folders within the same name. If you have any folder in HDFS with same name, you need to delete it. Otherwise, you can use some other name. Okay, say all the best, and I'm just going to click the button now for MapReduce, Hadoop MapReduce using Python, Hadoop MapReduce in streaming mode using Python programming. Sometimes it works, sometimes it won't work. So we have to wait and see. Okay, the job has been submitted. Now my MapReduce will start. This is parallel programming, parallel processing. So that is why we call it as map 0%, reduce 0%. Now we should be able to get without error. If there is no error, it is going on 50, 100. This is parallel processing. This is what we want from Hadoop. The $1 million. Everything is done well, so successfully. Otherwise, you will have error or warning. So I don't have error message, assuming that everything went well. If everything went well, then I should be having the output in my output directory inside HDFS. I got part. That is what is the file which we need to see for outputs right now. So Hadoop fs cat output part -1 2 3 4 5. Yes. So this simple. This is it is that simple in order to use Python for MapReduce tasks. So many of us, we often worry like how to deal with MapReduce. So in distributed environment such as this. So that's for this, folks, and thanks for watching this video. Stay tuned for the new content. Bye bye for now.